Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. How's this for an opening scene? This lovely dirty sink. What I'm doing today is an extreme deep clean on our master bathroom. If you've been watching my videos, you know that we just moved to a different rental just before Christmas. We downsized a little bit and just went with something more affordable, and unfortunately it was not really cleaned before we moved in, so it still was dirty from the previous tenants. And I'm not judging or saying that my houses have never gotten to this place, but when it's someone else's dirt, it just makes it that much more gross. So I'm just doing an extreme deep clean of everything. So for this bathroom, really all I'm using essentially, aside from the toilet bowl cleaner, is like baking soda, vinegar, Dawn dish soap, the blue stuff, and then also my Norwex window cloth and Enviro cloth. I've said previously, like way back in my first YouTube video, that I really want to switch over to all natural products. That is one of my resolutions for this year. I want to get really serious about that. I haven't fully faced it head on yet. So I'm just kind of getting a head start and trying to use more natural products. I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm getting there. So first thing I always do is to get the toilet bowl cleaner, and I'm using this Lysol hydrogen peroxide cleaner for the toilet bowl. So I'm going to get that in there so it can just soak on there and do its job, and I'm going to let that sit while I do other things. And I am going to go in a little bit more detail than I usually do in this video because I'm doing things a little differently than I normally would, just because, like I said, this dirt is not from my family, so I'm getting a little more in-depth here. So now I'm going over to the mirror, and here I'm just using a wet Norwex window cloth to wipe the window, and then I'm going to go after that with a dry Enviro cloth to just dry it off and just clean it up, get it dry. And then as you'll see, once everything is dry, it is streak free and spotless. So now moving on to the sink and vanity. What I'm going to do might seem a little weird. I hope I'm not the only one that does this, but I do this frequently, not just in my home, but I also clean houses on the side for money as well, so I do this in clients' homes. But dust can be a real problem in bathrooms, and I feel like vacuum cleaners are one of the most underutilized dusting tools. We don't always think of dust when we think of bathrooms. We think of the other gross things that make a bathroom dirty, but when you're trying to wipe things down, especially if you're getting things wet, dust can really be a problem. It just gets pushed around, it gets stuck in your cloth and all that kind of stuff. So before I do anything, I'm going in and I'm sucking up all of the hair and the dust and just getting that out of the way, eliminating that problem so I can just get down to scrubbing without having to worry about the dust that's going to get in my way. And I believe vacuum cleaners are very effective for this. So now I'm just gonna rinse down the sink a little bit. There are some like wet dust particles in here that wouldn't be sucked up by the vacuum cleaner, so I'm getting rid of that. Just taking a plain microfiber cloth and getting that wet and wiping off like the wet dust that was around the sink and didn't get picked up by the vacuum cleaner. So like I said, my goal is to just always get that dust, that hair out of the way before I go in and do any real deep cleaning. So now I'm going to plug the sink, and I'm going to make a little mixture right here in the sink. So I'm not measuring this, I'm just kind of eyeballing it, but I'm going to start by putting in some white vinegar. I'd say I'm putting in maybe like a half a cup here, maybe a little more. You could do a whole cup. It just depends on how much you need to use. And then I'm just adding in like a couple tablespoons of Dawn soap, and I'm just going to mix this up right with my fingers before adding the baking soda, because once you add the baking soda, it's going to react with the vinegar, and as you'll see, it'll kind of expand and just turn into this like fluffy paste type texture. So it's gonna create kind of like a volcano reaction. But since it's right in the sink, I don't have to worry about it. I can just dip the rag in right in there, and then I'm just going to saturate the rag with the solution, and I'm going to spread that all over the sink and the vanity. So depending on how bad the surface actually is, you can let this solution sit for a period of time just to kind of do some of the work for you. So I'm just going to get this all over the sink and the vanity and then let it sit while I go and scrub out the toilet, and then I'll come back to it. And now coming back to the sink, I'm just going to rinse out the cloth really good to where there's no soap in it, and then I'm gonna just wipe down. I'm kind of doing like a shoveling technique because you're not going to get this all on the first time because that cloth is gonna soak up all the soap. You're gonna have to rinse it again and so on and so forth before all of the solution is out of the cloth and off of the surface. So I'm kind of shoveling all of the foam in and then rinsing the cloth and then shoveling and rinsing to the point where the cloth is just full of water, and then I can just wipe the surface down without having all of that soap being pushed around. Now I'm going just along that little ledge of the vanity, backsplash, whatever that's called, because that is a classic dust collector and grime collector. So I'm just going and getting all of the gunk off of there. And as you can see, it just took quite a bit of wiping, just mostly to get all the excess soap off, but also to clean it as well. Like I said, I just really wanted to do a very deep clean just for peace of mind. You never know. Now moving on to the shower. One thing to note for showers and tubs, point of concern is always that top ledge there. That is a major dust collector and grime collector, so I always kind of go up top there, just do a swipe with a cloth and see if it needs to be dusted. This wasn't too bad. Also, these little ledges where you put the soaps, those collect a lot of grime, makes sense. Horizontal surfaces, stuff can sit on it easier. So make sure you pay special attention to those areas. And now I'm just going to go into the shower here with that same solution that I made in the sink, but for this I'm going to need some sort of pitcher. I'm just using the pitcher that we use in the kids' bathtub to like rinse their hair out. Cleans the pitcher in the process, so it's a win-win. So again, I'm just putting in some vinegar and then some dish soap. Here I'm probably doing like a cup of vinegar, a few tablespoons of dish soap, and then I swirl that around to mix that together. And then I'm just going to sprinkle in some baking soda, and I kind of just sprinkle until I start to see that reaction happening. It doesn't take all that much, but you do want a decent amount of baking soda because of its cleansing properties, its bleaching properties. So just kind of shake that around, and as you'll see, it's going to start to rise out of the pitcher, and it's okay if it overflows. That's to be expected. Then I'll just kind of dump that onto the floor, and then also, I don't show this in the video, but up the sides as well, and I'll wipe the sides of the shower And then for the bottom of the tub or shower, there's usually always some kind of texture to prevent slipping, so you're going to want to go in there with a scrub brush to really get into those areas. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but the left is where I did not scrub yet, and on the right is where I did. It definitely made a huge difference. Now onto the toilet. I am going to go ahead and use my Method all-purpose spray, which as you can see is almost gone. So after this I might switch over to a homemade solution, but for now I'm going to use this on the toilet with paper towels. I was going to use the same solution with the vinegar and the baking soda and then my microfiber cloth on here, but the toilet, you guys, I had to do so much wiping and rinsing and wiping and rinsing. I was just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I went to the spray and paper towels just for the sake of it being easier, because the toilet was kind of gross. Like, I don't know if you can tell, it doesn't even look that bad from afar, but like, you know where the hinges are, where the toilet seat is attached, that just gets so gross. There's so many nooks and crannies that can collect certain materials, so I just wanted to make this easier on myself, so I went with the spray and the paper towel. So really all you can do for a toilet is, of course, scrub the inside of the bowl, and then also just really on the outside give everything a good wipe, whether you're using a homemade solution or a spray, and just wiping, 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 and more wiping until you get everything gone. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it to be helpful or motivating. I mainly just wanted to focus on the main things like the sink, toilet, and shower. Those are the things in a bathroom that can just become really concerning if they get very dirty. Obviously, there's the floor, which I will be vacuuming, sweeping, and mopping. I just wanted to show you how I do a really deep clean on the major bathroom items. So thank you again for watching and for being here with me on my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and give this video a thumbs up. That lets me know to do more videos like this. Please feel free to share any video requests in the comments, and thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Here versus over there. You can't see that difference? Look on the camera. Am I getting that in the angle?
Oh, wow.
What are you trying to say?
Double clean. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your phone over, your phone over.
Oh!